challenge and context, regulated actors and activities. In this video, we'll talk about regulation in the energy system. At the end of this video, you will be able to explain how unbundling enables fair competition, know which actors have to be regulated, comprehend energy markets and their operation. The old energy system consisted of a vertically integrated utility. In the process of bringing electricity to the consumers, 4 actors are participating: generation, transmission, distribution, and retail. Generation means the production of electricity and can be fulfilled by conventional power plants or renewable energy sources. The transmission grid then transports this energy over large distances by using high voltage levels. Some industry consumers might be directly connected to the transmission grid. For all other cases, the transmission grid is connected to the distribution grid. The latter is responsible for distribution on a smaller scale. It is connected to the end customer and consists of high, medium, and low voltage levels. The retailer in the end has a contract with the customer to sell electricity. The customer is the end user of electricity. When generation, transmission, distribution, and retail were all represented by one company, a monopoly, this was called vertical integration. Being a monopoly, this company had an incentive to obstruct competitors from getting access to the infrastructure. Consequently, this vertical integrated unit was preventing fair competition, which led to higher prices for consumers. Unbundling of segments, and hence the liberalization of the energy market, was implemented to achieve today's energy market. Multiple generation companies structure our current energy system. Transmission and distribution grids are still operated and maintained by one company in one area, but all generation and retail companies must have access to it. Customers can choose their retail company, as they are not directly linked to the transmission and distribution system anymore. Depending on the choice of the retailer, the price they pay for the electricity can vary. Summing up, unbundling is the separation of energy supply from the operation of the power grids, to ensure fair competition and reasonable prices for consumers. The monopolies left are the transmission and distribution grids. Therefore, they have to be regulated. In order to regulate the grids, each European country has individual calculations and strategies in place and its own agency to monitor it. The approach taken is called incentive regulation. It aims at decoupling revenue development of cost development for a defined period. The revenue is fixed, which encourages the grid operator to reduce its costs, for instance, by improving efficiency or increasing productivity. If the grid operator manages to achieve a lower cost than the pre-specified revenue, it can keep this surplus, and hence its profitability increases. One regulation tool for this is the price cap mechanism. This means that the electricity price cannot exceed the specified maximal value. It acts as an incentive to cut costs and not to overinvest. If the grid operator stays below the price cap formula for a predefined period, the profit increases. A common approach to determine the price cap is called RPI-X regulation. The price cap adjusts to the retail price inflation (RPI) of the previous year and takes efficiency improvements as factor X into account for the ongoing period. Another existent regulation tool is the yardstick mechanism. This benchmark approach incorporates competition into the monopoly. It is achieved by considering the cost performance of similar companies. Such comparability strongly incentivizes cost cutting and reduces the information asymmetry between grid operators and regulators. Price cap and yardstick methods do not preclude each other and can be implemented in parallel. In contrast to the regulated grid operation, competition is desirable for the generation and retail sectors. Trading electrical energy either happens over the counter or through an exchange. The European Energy Exchange (EEX) is the leading European stock exchange platform for this purpose. This figure depicts the timeline of the energy market. Up to 1 day before the energy delivery, energy is traded in forward and future markets. Electricity generators can sell their energy to secure their operation. The trading happens within or between market zones. Market zones are usually different European countries. The day-ahead market represents the day before the actual delivery. At the end of the day, the market zone has to be in balance between assumed consumption and available generation. The so-called balance responsible party submits the balanced portfolio to the transmission system operator. On the delivery day itself, corrections of renewable and consumption forecasting and unexpected outages are adjusted with the intraday market to secure grid stability. In the case of an imbalance at the moment of delivery, transmission system operators trade and therefore secure reserves at the balancing market. Activating these reserves causes additional costs, and the financial adjustment happens between transmission system operator and the balance responsible party. Considering competing and regulated units, the European electricity market ensures sufficient capacity and a secure supply of energy for all consumers. In summary, the main aspects concerning the actors and activities associated with electrical grids can be summarized in 4 points. The European electrical grids are partly competitive, meaning transmission and distribution is a monopolistic sector, but generation and retailing are competitive. Each country has its proper policies and regulation authorities. The common regulation method is the incentive regulation composed of the price cap and yardstick, which can be deployed in parallel. Electricity markets can be structured through different specific markets according to the temporality of the delivery. Thanks for watching.